Hi EDU 131. Now that it's time for you guys to turn in your outline for your presentation for the DEBI project, I thought I would get online and just shoot a quick video with some guidance for that, and then just an overview of the project itself since it is due in a couple of weeks. So we're going to take a look at it together now. Okay, here is the document that outlines the project in detail. Everyone already has an assignment of a different category that they are researching, and then the next part of this document goes over the final project that has to be completed. So I'm going to skip over that for now and go to checkpoint 3 because that is what's due on Monday for class. And this week is different. It is week 12 and your checkpoint 3 is due this week in week 12. So don't be alarmed by that. I just did not get a chance to update these when I changed some due dates. So you want to develop a written outline with the talking points for your presentation and handouts that you're creating for this project. So there are some requirements for the outline. The outline needs to, at a minimum, include an introduction to the topic, things teachers need to know or keep in mind when working with families with a specific diverse circumstance. Another point that you need to make and cover in your topic is community supports to assist this family with a specific diverse circumstance. And you notice it says if relevant. So if there is a specific area of diversity that you were assigned that they would not need different community supports, that's okay. But I would think most of the projects you can think of community supports that would be relevant. Ways teachers can show value and belonging to families with specific diverse circumstances. So in this area, one thing that is important to note is you've done a lot of webinars about helping families feel included and belonging in your classroom, and there are going to be some strategies for teachers that are more broad and good for all families, and then there are going to be special considerations for your specific area of diverse families that you're thinking about. So you probably want to address some of those broad categories that meet the needs of all families, and then talk about more specifically what you would need to include in the classroom specifically related to the area of diversity that you were assigned. Okay, an outline is bullet list and talking points. It is not a paper written in paragraphs. A good way to think about your outline is however you're going to title your slides on your presentation. So you would put the title of each slide and then the bullet points or the talking points for each slide there. So I'm not looking for a long document here with paragraphs. It is bullet points and talking points, but you need to make sure it addresses all of these areas that you plan to include in your presentation. Now let's take a look back up at the project as a whole, your final project for this diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging project. There are 3 parts to it. The first part is a presentation, and you're going to use an online format for submitting that presentation. You will be recording your presentation and submitting it via YouTube link. And I will provide more information in the coming weeks about the technicalities of that. Right now, you need to worry about making sure your presentation covers everything it needs to cover, that it is appropriately formatted, that it addresses your topic, it includes visuals, it's aesthetically pleasing to look at and well organized. And in the coming weeks, I will go over instructions for presenting these online using PowerPoint or using a screencast like I'm doing here today. So don't worry so much about the technicality of your presentation. worry and focus right now on your content, and keep in mind that you want your presentation to be around 6 to 10 minutes when you present it online. Part 2 is the handouts. You need to create a 2-page handout to share with your classmates briefly about your assigned diversity topic. It needs to relate to families, children, and how teachers can best work and communicate with families with that unique circumstance. I do encourage you to use graphics. You can see that here, but make sure they make sense in your handout. So if you're going to use graphics in your handout, which I do encourage because it makes it more aesthetically pleasing, make sure the graphics match whatever it is that you're trying to convey in the presentation. Part 3 of your assignment is a reflective plan of action. So this is a written out 2 to 4 page reflection of how researching this particular diversity topic has impacted your understanding of diverse family characteristics, and develop a plan of action to use moving forward based on your understanding now of the need to create a respectful, responsive, reciprocal relationship with families of the children in their classroom. So again, this is another place where you're going to talk about best practices that you've learned in this class for including all families, but you also want to be sure your reflective action plan addresses the needs of the specific diverse circumstance that you were assigned. Okay? If you guys have questions, please reach out, and I will talk to you soon.